So SewerAI is based in Walnut Creek, California, and our company was founded in 2019. And we've so far completed, we started actually completing projects, Q2 of 2020. It's about 4.5 years into that. And we've done, we think, several 100,000 condition assessment surveys to date, which include mainline pipes, PACP, Pipe Assessment Certification Program, lateral side sewers, LACP, as well as manhole or maintenance hole, MACP surveys for our customers. These range from the various utilities and cities that we work with all across North America, US and Canada, as well as civil engineering firms and sewer services contractors that we get to work alongside. We estimate that our technologies currently are impacting more than 150 million people, ratepayers at these various utilities across North America. And our platform, which is called Pioneer, we currently manage about 140 million linear feet of CCTV data, which has been uploaded by our various customers. Let's talk through a few issues that I think a lot of us are familiar with or bumped up into across a lot of different condition assessment projects here. Really, it's a big challenge in sewer assessment when you're inspecting underground pipes that are active with flow in them, right, to achieve good optical quality. We're talking about the speed of the camera itself in the pipe relative to very close sidewall. It's conducive to blurry images, right? And also excessive speed can be a problem, as well as the fact that there's flow in these pipes and the camera lens oftentimes can dip underwater, which of course affects visibility. And the only real usefulness of CCTV data is the extent to which it can observe what's on the inside of the pipe. Right. And then there's also a lot of challenges that owners face on these projects relative to the acceptable level of water in a pipe as well. And then you have a lot of other issues related to data entry itself, or the integrity of the data being entered, or who's entering the data, who's doing the survey, such as operators that may not have current or NASCO credentials or any NASCO training or certification at all. Also, the fact that commonly someone will run a CCTV camera from the initial access point, they won't be able to complete the entire segment, and they may or may not attempt a reversal. So you have missing parts of the segments that aren't getting inspected, aren't getting assessed, right? Also on these projects, there's often additional billable items from a contractor's perspective that include specialized cleaning or heavy cleaning, or you have different types of remote setups and constraints around that affect the units and the pricing items that they're able to bill for. And to be able to accurately capture in the field that happened or that did not happen is a pretty important aspect, especially on large projects, right? Also, you have the implementation of specs and standards as it relates to cleaning a pipe. Did the contractor properly pre-clean the pipe if that was a requirement of the survey? And that is one of the most common requirements you'll see across different owners is you should be pre-cleaning a pipe to achieve the best possible assessment, right? So do the deposits in the pipe, is the capacity of the pipe there such that you could actually see the sidewall and do a structural assessment, and is it clean or not, right? And then also, very importantly, is the ability to validate the GIS information. A lot of the initial GIS layers and the data relative to each asset was taken from an original as-build or sometimes older records that tend to not always be consistent or reliable. And it's extremely important that when these crews are in the field, that they're able to verify that the pipe diameters and materials are accurate, and that gets put back in and updated to the GIS layer itself. So let's put this on the ground in a specific scenario here. You have a city called Houston, right? 6,000 miles of pipe, okay? And they also, as of 2021, started a quite onerous consent decree that is enforced by the EPA so that they can reduce the amount of sewer overflows, right? They're currently in year 4 of what looks to be about a 15-year process for the consent decree, okay? And one of the aspects of that consent decree is that they need to inspect all 130,000 manholes, all 6,000 miles of pipe. They need to rehabilitate a significant portion of those, then re-inspect those to validate that they were fixed. And of course, the main goal they're trying to achieve, again, is to hopefully the entire elimination of sewer surface overflows, but certainly a significant reduction. So they have some onerous obligations. And what that currently looks like right now in year 4 is that there's roughly 10,000 manholes a year being inspected, being assessed as part of that consent decree obligation, and around 10 million linear feet of pipe data per year. The other challenge that is faced by folks in the city of Houston is that for whatever reason, when it was built up, designed, a lot of that occurred right after World War II throughout the 1970s, is that about 60% of all their manhole access points are in people's backyards, also known as backlots, also known as easements, right? They're not directly on these streets, and there's quite a bit of challenge to even get to and locate these types of manhole covers, right? The other challenge faced by the city of Houston relates to just groundwater and the very flat topography that they have. It's right at sea level, and there's not a lot of incline relief available from a design standpoint, and the ability to detect sags is very important, but also because the groundwater is at a very high level pretty much most of the year, there's a lot of infiltration in the system, which, as many of you folks know, is one of the main contributors to capacity problems and overflow events, especially during wet weather. Another issue that they've been impacted by, also due to the very shallow depth of their sewer system, is the propensity for a conflict from a third-party utility, such as a gas line or a telecom line being horizontally directionally drilled through the sewer network and accidentally penetrating through a crossbore, with the mainline and or lateral pipe there too. So in order to really deal with some of these challenges and the fact that there's around right now 6 different contractors every day collecting data to support this consent decree, and that what that really looks like is roughly 30 to 35 trucks on any given day, Monday through Friday, are out there in the city of Houston televising pipe, cleaning pipe, etc., with vac crews.
Sewer 3D. We've taken an emerging technology known as photogrammetry, which is basically the use of advanced computing and math algorithms to take the pixels in digital images and represent these pixels as points in a 3D space. In our case, the images come from 360 action camera videos. In the first part of the process, photogrammetry is used to construct a dense point cloud of the structure captured in the video. From there, our software takes the images and overlays these onto the point cloud to display a textured 3D model. Of course, we provide the customers with training on the best practices guideline, as well as a physical piece of hardware known as our calibration board. That board contains predefined fiducial markers that our AI tools use to automatically add an accurate scale to the 3D models. We designed this process to be as simple as possible for the technicians in the field and for anyone who has ever done a manhole inspection. And you guys all know that needs to be as simplistic as possible because they get pretty technical and they're pretty labor intensive. So what is Sewer 3D? So Sewer 3D, a deliverable pretty much consists of a scaled textured 3D model, a dense point cloud, a high definition 360-degree video playback with an interactive virtual pan and tilt. You can zoom around in it and look at it just like you can in the video. It has vertical depths and manhole block positions. They're displayed throughout the entire video. It also has a 2-dimensional flat view of the structure that's provided for ease of looking at the entire structure in a single image. These tools are available within the Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge browsers, so there's no need to install any software at any time. And we've also designed a user interface that enables NASCO Level 1 and Level 2 MACP coding and deliverables. And the Sewer 3D models are also exportable to all CAD files.
Yeah, so we have a few minutes left still, and there's actually a couple of things we'd like to announce as well while we have the opportunity to do that. We're extremely excited to announce that we've very recently achieved SOC 2 compliance. Okay, and this is really great to be able to announce this during October, which, as many of you all know, obviously is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, right? But we think that that's actually really important to talk about and to have for any vendor. And honestly, a lot of folks might not be familiar with what is SOC 2 or what is ISO 27001. It's essentially the highest available level of accreditation or certification for a software vendor or really any organization that handles people's data for all things related to cybersecurity, data sharing, privacy, and also just best practices relative to IT. This is based on not just the product itself or how the software is designed, built, or used. It actually affects all aspects of any organization, down to the staff members' devices and the privacy of the devices and the password protection of those devices, etc. So it's an all-encompassing audit by a third party. It includes penetration testing and various different reporting cadences that we follow in order to achieve that type of SOC 2 accreditation. This is all in the interest, of course, of making sure that utilities, really any folks that are using our tools, that they're doing that in a way that ensures that the data is safe, that it's private, and that there's accountability for these types of things. By the way, SewerAI is the only vendor in our space with this level of accreditation. And soon we'll be able to release, within, we think, about a week or so, the SewerAI Trust Center, which essentially is a landing page platform that's searchable and interactive, which includes various different resources that we've come to find that IT departments like to have a higher level of assurance about any vendor, whether or not it's exposing them or not to additional risks. We really appreciate everybody's time here today. We know there's a lot of spots you could be at WEFTEC, so thanks everybody for attending.